Hi, this is Dale, and I want to show you some interesting effects with pin bones and point binding. Here I've got a layer and you're down on, and it's a switch layer. It's actually a frame-by-frame switch layer. And on the first layer, I've got the points bound to each bone. So basically, if I were to select this bone, that point's bound. If I select this one, that point's bound. And you can't see it because it's right underneath it. And then I got another one here. Now, what you can do on this, you don't even have to be on the um, on this frame by frame layer. You can do it on basically any you know bone layer or switch layer or frame by frame layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set out a 24, and I'm going to add a new frame, and I'm going to go in here to and as you can see, I can manipulate the points, and the bones don't have to be exactly on top of the points. Okay? But as you can see, when they are, okay, you can really know what's going on and control them a little bit better. So I had a thought that, well, maybe get an eye blink by pushing it up. And as you can see, I can't control the curvature. It's stuck at whatever the curvature is when you bind the points. So that's interesting. But here's another setup. I've been playing with it, and it's basically the same setup, but instead of using pin bone for all four original, because if we go back, I have two smart bones here instead of four pin bones. So I can move this up, and I can make the smart bones change the curvature by, um, you know, and what's going on here is it's actually just going in, and if you look at the curvature, okay, you can see that they're right on top of each other, and then they're not. So the puzzler handlers are out circle, and then they're crimped. And if I look at the other one, I've got to turn the other way, and I pull the bezeler handles out in an odd direction, so that it makes 45 or so. So let's go back to the main line and take a look at what happens when you manipulate the bones here. So I can manipulate the bone, this bone. I can turn this bone. I can move it around, so I can get pretty cool like eyelid effects. And I don't know, this is like a hat or something. Oops, this bone somehow didn't get attached. But anyway, so that's interesting. You can do that. So so far, now here's an interesting thing. I set up. Let me go back to the beginning and zoom in and zoom out a little bit. As you can see, I have thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 3, thumb 4. And what they're on, let me go to the forearm here, is they're directly connected to each one of, let's see, let me zoom in, get rid of, each one of these points is bound to each one of these pins. It got a weird offset on it, which I'm not worried about. But if I click on the bones, you can see how each one of these small points is bound to each one of these pin bones. So, well, what can you do now? And of course, this has two layers, front and back, so they're bound twice. So let's go back to the animation here. And now what you see is that, okay, if I go to the manipulate bones tool, I can actually control the thumb. Okay? And of course, the linkage on this is, now you see it's kind of offset, but this is the linkage. Okay? And these are the thumb bones. Okay? And it all works even though it's, once you get off setup mode, you can see it. So let's go back to manipulate. So as it's going down through the timeline, I can pretty much control, well, you can get a little outrageous here, but I can make the thumb move almost natural. Okay? And if I don't like it like that, I can have them like that. And as you can see, it's straight out. I can put the curve back in a little bit. Okay? You really don't want to be touching this bone because then you're moving the thumb itself. So, Control Z, undo. And this is pin bones controlling vector points. And the nice thing about it is you can see how deep this thing went into the file. So now you don't have to reach in and try to manipulate it. Go back and forth, back and forth. You can just use the pin bones. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye.